What's up, guys? It's a Tempo Tuesday, and this is the PHNX Sun Devil Show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, even leave a 5-star review wherever you guys get your podcasts. I am Anthony Totri, joined, as always, as my friend, Shaun Dipos, my friend, Shane Diefenbock. I don't know, it just kind of slipped out. It slipped into
and
it.
Also, Shane not on it again.
Shane wasn't on it.
Well, okay. You got
to be locked in for the opening, though.
Well,
also,
that's how you start.
Yeah, you are. Yes, I am. Yeah, you are.
There you go.
Okay.
What's up, friends? How are you feeling?
How's everybody doing? How are you guys doing? It's a Tempo Tuesday.
Chilling. It's been a pretty slow tempo day for me, I feel like, actually.
Why?
I don't know. Just kind of been vibing, watching a little baseball, eating some food.
Okay, love that for you. What about you, Shane?
It's been very high tempo.
Yeah.
Been moving around a lot.
Like a Shaun Aguano practice, high tempo?
Yeah. Well, not a lot of screaming.
Not a lot of
just
screaming.
Just like the ASU players, I'm tired for the first time in a while.
Goodness. Yeah, that's fair. If you guys are on Twitter or social media at all and keep up with ASU football, then you know that Herm Edwards is no longer the coach. And today was Shaun Aguano, the interim head coach's first practice at the helm, and kind of an understanding across the board for media that it was up-tempo. It was much faster pace. We heard from a couple guys today that there was no walking. Like, they are simply not allowed to walk on the field, which I feel like
high school coach energy.
Exactly. But, like, I feel like that's pretty standard, like, not only high school, but, like, Pop Warner.
Yeah.
Like, just younger football. You're just, like, wherever you're going, walk with a purpose.
Yep.
Like,
100%.
You just go. So I'm glad that that's kind of, like, ingrained now. Obviously, we're going to talk about tempo throughout practice or throughout the show today. But I do want to get to what some of the players and defensive coordinator Donnie Henderson, what they had to say today, because it was the first time we really heard from them since Herm left, since Shaun Aguano became the interim head coach. And I want to start with Case Hatch, who is an ASU captain. A lot's been made of him and just his contributions over the past couple of years, and specifically this season. This is what he had to say in terms of what practice was like today and why it was needed.
You know, today, personally, I believe was what we needed. Right? We were running around on the field, off the field, switching out personnel, running off, and it was a change that we kind of needed. Right? Guys were tired by the end of practice. I mean, I was tired, bending over, trying to catch your breath. But we were pushed today, and that's something we needed to do.
Isn't that weird how much you emphasize that?
What?
The boys were tired at the end of practice. Like, that's not something normal that happens.
Yeah. It's tough, especially for a Division I football program that's like competing with USC, Utah, Washington, Oregon, like for a Pac-12
that is supposed to be competing.
That is supposed to be competing. That you're just not tired? You're just not moving? Like, what are we doing? Like, what was Herm thinking?
I don't know, man. There was you could just kind of feel it when we went to practice. It was like, this is kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, it's and this is something that Doug Holler him and I had talked about in the spring, because of Notre Dame, like just watching their practices compared to ASU. Like, there's just a different energy. Not just Notre Dame, but Florida State, USF. Like, there's just a bunch of different schools that, like, it just felt like they care more about LSU. Like, they just run practice differently than ASU. It's much faster pace. It's like, look, we're here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're going to get everything out of those 2 hours. Whereas for like ASU, it felt like, okay, we're just, we're lollygagging a little bit. We're going to get from place to place. And when we get the job done, we're going to get the job done.
Yeah.
But there was like never any urgency. Do you think that was part of the problem long term for Herm? Because like, there clearly wasn't a good tempo or a fast-paced tempo in the game. But like, in terms of practice, everyone says you practice how you play. Like, was that part of it?
Yeah, it's the same thing as in basketball. If you're taking stationary jumpers, like, that's not going to help you in a game. You're never going to do that. Like, you're never just going to sit and catch unless you're fully going through your jump shot. This team wasn't going through its jump shot in practices. They were, if you're gonna walk up the field, you're in practice, you're going to walk up the field in games. Like, it's just how it is. And it's so damn strange. Just the energy thing. There's new energy injected in this team off of just one practice already. And it might just because of a fresh start. You know, you get your legs under you, but it is weird, man. It is really weird.
Yeah, I feel like it all goes back to the whole like Herm kind of trying to run this like an NFL team type thing. Like, I mean, these are still like young guys that need to develop and need
There's not like veteran days off.
Motivation to get locked in and kind of stuff.
Well,
like
there was.
There shouldn't be.
Well, but
that's what I'm saying.
But even in the NFL, you don't do that. Like it's just you'll take like a Tuesday practice slower, but you won't just completely walk through everything every day. The energy thing is so weird to me. It's so weird. It's like he just wasn't bought in.
One thing that I loved, and we'll get to some of the comments, Wannikin in the chat talking about can't believe people actually think Herm was fired on the field. Yeah, that's something that's been going around social media.
Shit is ridiculous.
We'll get to that at the end of the show. He wasn't fired on the field, guys. We know this. But social media is running with it the way it will.
Social media that is not within like a 100-mile radius of the state of Arizona is running away with
it. But one of the best things that I heard today was, I believe it was Case Hatch talking about Shaun Aguano's practice and just how it's a lot more up tempo. People are tired, and when they were running like 11 on 11, like there were people on the sidelines bickering, like tired and like what the fuck are we doing? Like, and Aguano like apparently had gone up to him at the end of practice and was like, "Look, I hear everybody. I love it. Keep it up. I'm always here. I always want to hear what you guys think, but I ain't changing nothing. Like, we're gonna keep up the up tempo, and I love it. Like." He's only been the interim coach for 24 hours, and he knows what he wants, and he's not going to let anybody tell him differently. And I don't feel like anybody should, because give him a chance, because clearly what happened before didn't work.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, I can understand that being a tough transition, but when you look at it, like, Aguano, like, Herm Edwards never really had success as a coach.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, prior to ASU, he was obviously kind of mediocre at ASU, but, like, Aguano, although he has never done it at this level, has been a successful coach at basically everything he's done. Like, he was a good running backs coach at Chandler. He was a good coach at Chandler. Now he was a good running back coach here. Like, he has at least some idea of what it takes to be successful, which Herm really didn't, or at least never seemed like he did.
And getting high praise from one of the greats of Chandler, Cam Jordan, tweeting, my high school's running back coach became my high school's head coach, became my state's college running back coach, now interim head coach. Love that for you, Shaun. Head coach, Shaun Aguano. And then Totri's favorite, salute to emoji.
I love that emoji so much, man. That emoji
half of
is
face cut off.
But it's room for the hand.
It's just, you don't love that? You don't?
No,
love
I love it. I'm just, no.
Okay. Well, let's get to Donnie Henderson, because it's the first time we heard from him today in terms of the Eastern Michigan game as well. He talked about it was just a bad game from top to bottom. They wanted to stop the run. Evidently, that didn't happen. I believe Samson Evans won some award for like the best running back or the top running back in the country this past weekend. Evidently, dominating ASU. They didn't stop the pass at all, so they wanted to kind of move on from that. But Donnie was asked about Herm and just what the last 72 to 48 hours have been like for him, because obviously Donnie and Herm were good friends. This is what he had to say.
As far as the coaching change, Herm and I go way back. 40 years. So, when you think about that guy right there, you always think about a gentleman. Talking about Herm, he's always been up front. He's never been one of those guys that. He's always been complimentary to everything. So when that happened, you take a back seat and you look at, hey, we didn't do enough to save this man's job, bottom line. And that's how I look at it, is we have to play better if we wanted that guy to stay here, because, he didn't play a snap.
What do you think about that? Saying that, they didn't play well enough for Herm to keep his job. And that Herm didn't play a snap.
Just being honest. Like it's brutal honesty. It was evident. Like I think he didn't say it directly, but it kind of felt like he felt like it was evident and it was coming. Like it was going to come at the end of the season. It happened now, and they just didn't. This team played so poorly against Eastern Michigan that it was time to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we knew, right? Like, I feel like it was a pretty poorly kept secret that there was very little margin for error for Herm. Like, he had to have a pretty spectacular, not even just a good season. He needed to have a pretty spectacular season for him to keep his job.
For sure.
And
we said Rose Bowl, I think.
Yeah, and losing to Eastern Michigan is the exact opposite of spectacular. So So yeah, I mean, it just kind of confirms, I think, what we've always knew. Like, they needed to play well, and even if Herm was doing his job well, which I don't know that he was, like, at the end of the day, the players didn't play well against Eastern Michigan, and when that happens, like, it's obviously going to fall, just like the investigation. Even if Herm has nothing to do with it, it's ultimately going to fall back on the quote unquote CEO of the program.
Yeah, Black Star brings up a good point. Like, the scandal, of course, thin ice, but it's the fact that the next two opponents, like, do you think if these weren't the next two opponents that maybe he got one more game? I mean, obviously the Eastern Michigan loss is really bad, but you know, Utah and USC, if this team plays the same way, like, they're going to get beatings. It had to be a change now.
I mean, I don't think the next opponents mattered. Like, especially because you're going into conference play regardless. Like, they can't lose the games anyways. Yeah. And I mean, even if they had NAU next week, like, losing to Eastern Michigan, the last thing you want in that circumstance is to lose to two opponents embarrassingly. So I don't think there's really anything like good or bad opponent next. Like, you can't lose football games. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
But to his point, it is a great time for it to happen. Because as we've heard multiple times today, as we said when it happened, you're 0-0 now.
Yeah.
The completely clean slate. Nothing matters because Pac-12 play is completely away from conference play in terms of wins and losses unless you have a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting, and I think that loss to Eastern Michigan was definitely the final straw for Ray and company. And I think Ray, you know, as much shit as we give him for, you know, bringing on Herm as being good buddies and stuff, like, it took a lot, I know, for him to to have that conversation with Herm.
That wasn't had on the field.
Yeah, that wasn't had on the field.
100% not had on the field.
There was a conversation on the field, but Herm was not fired on the field. Aaron, I do want to get to your comment. What would need to happen for Aguano to keep his job? Something we went over at a length yesterday in terms of, like, he needs to probably win one of these next 3 games against a ranked team. He's got to win the Territorial Cup, and you just got to be competitive.
Yeah, just to show improvement.
You can't lose to Colorado.
Yeah, you can't lose to Colorado. That would be a horrendous loss for anybody. That would be as bad as the Eastern Michigan loss.
Just show
I don't think losing the Territorial Cup completely.
If you get blown out in the Territorial Cup. But yeah, if you're competitive, like, Arizona's a decent team this year.
Yeah, shout out Mike Luke. Mike Luke today on the PHNX Wildcats podcast said one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He was talking about winnable games in the Pac-12 schedule for Arizona, and he mentioned the Utah and USC games, and instead of saying, like, he said those are probably not winnable games, but instead of saying they're just better teams, he said those are just horrible matchups for you.
They're not wrong.
Damn near everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Black Star in the chat saying I would fire him after Utah and USC, give the team some hope entering the softer part of the schedule. I disagree.
I get the reasoning, but these games aren't completely out of the window. USC isn't Alabama or Georgia. Utah definitely isn't.
Defense.
I mean, USC is. I think if
USC's very good, but they're not unwinnable games.
I think if there was an unwinnable game on ASU's schedule, it'd be USC.
But there isn't. It's the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's the Pac-12, but USC is different than they've been in years past.
USC,
their defense is the same.
I mean, it's not Alabama, and their defense is not good, but it's unwinnable in the sense that, like, if you're picking them to win, I think you're batshit crazy. Like, there's zero reason to expect that ASU will win that game or the Utah game, despite you guys keep saying that they're going to beat Utah.
Yeah,
I think they're going to beat Utah.
Wanigan saying Utah is mortal on the road. I love calling teams mortal, calling good teams mortal.
They are. Look what Florida. Look at that Florida game.
That loss is aging poorly.
Yeah.
And to that game, I said to Shaun today, I think they for some reason win and beat Tennessee.
I don't know. I don't think they will, but at the same time, it's Tennessee, and they're like the Texas of the SEC, which is going to be wild when they're both in the SEC. But Tennessee they'll never be back. They're back, and then all of a sudden they lose to nobodies.
All right. Well, we've talked a lot about Utah and that upcoming matchup. This is what offensive lineman and ASU captain LaDarius Henderson had to say about the upcoming matchup against the Utes.
I really don't like Utah. Personally, you guys know why. It's been my teammates know that about me since I got here. It's not my cup of tea. They are physical. We're definitely physical. They're a disciplined team. I feel like that's a lot of what makes them great, and they are a really good team. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they're not, because they are. I have a lot of respect for that coach and what he does with his players and the way that they play the game, and it's a lot of fun playing guys like that. So, yeah.
Fuck Utah. Right there with you, LD.
He didn't say it like that.
No, but
who hates Utah more, Shaun or
he's not talking
LD?
about LaDarius isn't talking about the state.
I don't know. He might be. Yeah, he might be talking about
they've known since I got here. It's not my cup of tea. Why would you have against a school like that? Is this?
I don't know. Maybe because they've had their way with ASU.
No, but he said since I got here,
like in the world, or just like specifically to me. Like the moment he dropped out.
Yeah, he was like, welcome. And he's like, hi, my name is LD.
Yeah.
Is that how you get? Is that how you were given birth? Is that explains a lot? Tells you he was just.
He came back from the gulag and he was.
He parachuted into Tempe and was just like, hey, real quick, fuck Utah.
What happened to that, by the way? All of the people parachuting on fields, haven't seen that in a while.
Like, what do you mean?
Parachuting on fields before the games?
I've seen it.
I'm sure it's still a thing.
I haven't seen it in a while.
You want to do it?
Yeah, dude, I would love to. I want to skydive so bad.
Never.
Oh yeah, let's go skydiving. Can we do a podcast?
I will literally
logistically
never,
probably
logistic nightmare.
I would literally never skydive.
Ever?
I mean, you would have to pay me 7 digits.
What if we got 500 likes on this YouTube video?
Would you rather skydive or scuba dive?
No. How many likes would it take? How many likes?
Anything to do with the water?
How many likes would it take on this YouTube video for you to go skydiving? And it would obviously be paid for.
A million.
Bro.
I want
Smash
nothing.
that mother effing like
Give me
button.
something. Give it something reasonable.
No, I'm not skydiving. There's literally, I'm not going to set myself up for failure because what's going to happen is I either give an unreasonable number or I give a reasonable number and then I back out once it hits.
Give me a semi.
No, I am not skydiving. I'll skydive once I get fucking drafted and they push me out of the plane. They're like, go fight for your country. That's
100 likes on this video, Shaun joins the military.
Yo, would you be down for that?
Before skydiving, yes.
Really?
Yes.
But what if you have
I almost did join the military, fun fact.
Ooh.
Is it a fun fact?
Yeah.
Just a fact.
I mean, I come from a military family. My mom's in the Air Force. My uncle fought in Vietnam. My grandpa was in the Army. Like, I come
don't
from
you
a
remember that cool picture he showed us yesterday?
Did I show you the cool picture of my mom
Yeah.
fucking shooting a machine gun? Stay strapped, mom.
Yeah. That was...
Move on.
Okay. Well, let's talk about underdog fantasy for a second. There's not a great transition from the military to underdog fantasy, but look,
like the U.S. in the Revolutionary War, they were underdogs. Underdog fantasy, go.
Okay, you could do that. Shaun said he'll get drafted for 100 likes, but
whoa, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. He said for 100 likes.
No, he said, "What would you rather do?" He said, "Would you do that?"
Sign up for the military.
Yeah, I would sign up for the military before I went skydiving.
Okay,
unless I was joining the Air Force.
Well, it takes no likes for you guys to go on Underdog Fantasy and go draft your favorite players. They got a bunch of great options. I know Derek. How much money did Derek win the other day on Underdog Fantasy?
Last night he won $1,000.
Now me, Max, and Derek are all riding. Oh, and Shane are all riding a 5-pick pitcher over under pitch count pick'em thing. Yeah, and so I put $50 down to win $1,000. If we all win, we're going to get a big steak dinner.
Ooh, love it.
Rach also saying in the chat they do have an indoor skydiving, also 101 and near talking stick.
I definitely like way more likely than
that's some good content.
Don't be a pansy, bro.
Jacob,
way more likely than
indoor skydiving content. Let's do it.
I mean, that wouldn't be hard content.
Shaun wants to. Shaun wants to.
Liability reasons.
You gotta sign a waiver.
Okay,
we went go karting. We're gonna go paintballing. Like you talk about liability.
Underdog is the easiest and most fun way to spice up your football season. It's Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em games.
Use
Just
that promo
look for
code.
your favorite or least favorite player stats. Pick between 2 and 5 players for your pick'em entry, and whether you think they're gonna end up with a higher or lower total than the stat line in that week's game. Get all your picks right, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. We already told you guys about Derek. Obviously, these guys have some bets that they're writing as well, and you can search in the App Store or click the link in the show notes. Sign up with promo code PHNX, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PHNX. Get in on the action today.
I was one Gabe Davis reception.
Private first class.
I was one Gabe Davis reception away from $300 last night.
Ooh.
Last night? Gabe Davis didn't play last night.
Or not Gabe Davis. Isaiah McKenzie.
Oh,
They're the same player.
That's a bad
except
beat.
one's really tiny, one's
That's
really
a
tall.
real bad beat.
The private first class reporting for duty, sir.
Okay, bro. 100 likes, and Shaun joins the military. I'm here for it.
We'll lose a host probably.
Well, you could call in, right?
I did genuinely almost join the military out of high school. I was gonna go ROTC, and then when the pandemic hit, I was questioning my life, and I almost joined the Army as a graphic designer, actually. But you still have to go through like boot camp and everything. But it was a person that would have I would have designed like.
Are you fighting the Great War with memes?
No, I would have designed like graphs and like information. Like what's the
Just
the word I'm looking for.
the enemy.
Nice.
Just fucking no, but it's like the kind of person that creates like the visual information for like what's the word I'm looking for when they give information to soldiers before.
Oh, recon?
No, because recon's like the process of finding
like a PIO.
No, it's
I know
like
what you're talking about.
there's a word for it. I'll figure it out later. I'll remember it at some point.
Okay, let us know though when you figure it out. Let's talk back about tempo because I think
Sit. Hut.
is that you running tempo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I'd like to see it even a little bit.
Alert.
Okay. Do you guys want to run the no huddle real quick, like right here?
Well, we can't. How are you running? We're not. We didn't huddle. We just did it.
Yeah, we just did it. Oh, got a first down. Did it again.
Okay.
Watch. Dive for the
That's
first
what
down.
ASU's offense is going to look like from now on. What do you guys...
Boo, 42. Boo, 42. Timmy Turner. Check.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Okay.
No caffeine. Utah said what?
Wannakin. Want to get to your comment.
Okay, we're good.
Have to challenge Emory to put up better stats on Utah than Anthony Richardson at Utah. I think look,
RPO.
if there's a time now for Emory to go off, it's this week, right? Because they'll be, again, we don't necessarily know what the changes are going to look exactly in terms of the offense. Just because they're speeding up practice doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be running the no huddle and they're going to look like Oklahoma State out there on Saturday. However, it should be a faster pace,
which I think this team plays well.
Yes. I think it suits the athleticism that they have on the team, especially with Emory at quarterback. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a little extra incentive because Emory saw what, the guy who took over was able to do to him?
Yeah, a little bit, but I like this one when I can comment not only for the matchup against Utah directly, but also in general in the season, because correct me if I'm wrong, but the numbers are probably pretty similar.
For Richardson and
Emory.
Well, Emory had less turnovers.
Yeah, definitely.
Smith hit for Gallo, baby. Pinch hit.
Nice.
Let's go.
But yeah, like I said this stat the other day, Anthony Richardson has more tackles than he does touchdowns.
That is a ridiculous stat. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Also, Black Star brings up Nebraska. And this is kind of related, kind of not related. So today, after Donnie finished his availability, he turned to the media and asked, what do you guys think about it in terms of like the coaching change?
Donnie always floats
all that
briefings.
Stuff.
Is that the word I was looking for?
I think so. That might be it. That feels like it. So yeah, look, Josh said briefings a while ago.
Oh shit! Thank you, Josh.
Josh always there, man. With it, always got it. So Donnie turned to the media, and the media, we were kind of like, no one really wanted to say anything because Donnie and Herm are friends. But the guy next to me was like, well, same thing just kind of happened in Nebraska, and that was a lot worse. Donnie didn't really think much of it and walked out of the room. And then one of the media members in the back was like, was it? So that's my next question to you was like, is this as bad as the ASU situation over the course of the last 72 hours, as bad as what happened in Nebraska with Scott Frost?
The players are worse in Nebraska. I don't want to compare these two because, like, as I said, people loved betting that Nebraska plus 11 against Oklahoma for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And it was because...
But here we are
and it was,
saying
just let me finish. It was because the players get up for games with new coaches.
Yeah.
One, you don't know if their interim has the same impact as Aguano's going to have. But two, they're just not a good football team. Nebraska is not a good football team. Their players are not talented.
Also, Oklahoma's better than Utah.
Very much so.
Utah pretty good, though.
Utah is pretty good. What was your original question? I just got
I don't remember.
lost in Shane's passion.
The question
was... is the situation as bad as...
Yeah.
No, yeah. Because the thing about ASU is...
No. No, it's not.
The thing about ASU is that, like, they didn't really take losing to Eastern Michigan is a significant step back for the program, I guess. But like in terms of like overall what they've done, it's not really like their peak is losing in a Rose Bowl. Like Nebraska was at one point one of the best programs in all of college football.
But they've been historically bad. Like
Nebraska, but that's my point. Like Nebraska was trying to recapture something that they're not going to be capable of recapturing. Like ASU was
just wants to make the Sun Bowl.
Like they've been this close. Like they just need to take one step. Like they've been this close to getting to another level. Nebraska hasn't been anything close to what they've been trying to accomplish in a long time. Since like Indomitian Sioux, kind of, I guess. Like that was the last time that they were.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like the last time they were really significant. Like their situation is completely different. Plus, they could have waited a week, I think, to fire Scott Frost, and they would have saved $7.5 million. They were like, we need to get this guy fucking out of here. Yeah, so no, I don't think it's that bad. Like obviously this is not a good situation, but I agree with Shane. I think the players are better. It's just Nebraska is just a poverty program at this point.
So going back to the Anthony Richardson thing, stats wise, Emory Jones 557, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Anthony Richardson 423, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Rushing, obviously Richardson has more because he's just been given more opportunity. Emory has 42 attempts, or that's passing, excuse me. He has 18 attempts for only 31 yards.
Yeah, but they factor in sacks.
Yeah, I know. But then they factor in sacks this too. Anthony Richardson 24 attempts for 134 yards. But then you look at the passing attempts. Anthony Richardson 77 on the air. Emory Jones only 42. 42 passing attempts in 3 games.
That's crazy.
That's stupid.
And
it's
2 games
dumb.
were against NAU and Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like at one point, the Oklahoma State game, you'd figure he'd have a ton of passing attempts because they were down by 17 with like 7 minutes to play.
Do you guys want to score touchdowns?
I mean, it wouldn't.
Do you think Emory Jones wants to score touchdowns?
He probably wants.
Pass the rock.
He wants to score touchdowns. Dude, I'm so excited to see what this offense looks like on Saturday because I don't think it's going to be something that we've seen for the last 4 or 5 years.
That's my whole thing is like, I really hope Aguano's just like, listen, Glenn.
Such a great
Here,
name.
you're Aguano. I'm Glenn. You walked in the office, get
Who
in the
am I?
character.
Who am I?
You're Donnie.
Just sitting in the back.
Oh,
You're
okay.
Donnie. You just sitting in the back.
He's just, yeah. Listen, guy,
Okay.
we're going to do the damn thing, whether you like it or not. If you keep running the goddamn football, I'm just going to start calling the plays. See you at practice. I don't know. It's
No
pretty-
more huddle?
We playing defense
No,
this
we're
week?
still huddling.
I don't know, Donnie. Are we?
Donnie, just you don't got to worry about me taking the sheet away from you. Just go do your thing. Be a dog. Be aggressive. Eat some watermelon with,
Someone say dog?
with salt on
There
it.
it is.
Just do your thing.
Just do your thing.
We need to try the
And
watermelon with salt
scene.
on it still.
What?
We still need to try the watermelon with salt on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We do need. I need to ask him about that. Honestly. Yeah, let's try it at 4 Peaks. You want to try it at 4 Peaks? Do they have watermelon at 4 Peaks?
No, but I can tell you what you can find at 4 Peaks.
Tell me.
A dog.
A dog?
Woo!
That
That
sounds
was
like
about
a.
that
That
time.
sounds like
Some
a pussy
multiple
cat.
dogs.
That sounds like a little baby cat.
Cat?
Like a
Cats
kitten.
go roo.
It sounded like a puppy for sure, but
Yeah,
it was
puppy,
not a
not
cat.
That wasn't a dog.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, it was a
It
dog.
was more like my
It
puppy.
was like a pup.
Come,
Give me a dog.
Come hang out with us at 4 Peaks.
Give me. Come hang out with us at 4 Peaks. There is a tailgate at 4 Peaks. Come on, guys. It's $50 a ticket. It includes 2 beers, all you can eat buffet, and a ride to the game. We're all going to be there, and so are a bunch of other Sun Devil fans, either celebrating that Herm's gone and Aguano was in, or they're going to be drinking their sorrows because Herm's gone. I really don't think that's going to be the case for a lot of people.
I would say you're either celebrating that Herm is gone or you're nervously drinking that you're playing Utah with an interim coach.
that's fair.
Probably what's going to happen. But I have a special offer to extend to the people. Friends, family, women and children and men. Well, not children. Never mind. 21 and over. Enjoy responsibly.
Well, children can come.
Children can come, but this is not for. If you find me, if 3 people, you're going to do it too.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying the children can still
Yeah.
take part in this challenge.
Yeah, that's true. I would extend the invite to do it with me though.
Okay, go ahead.
3 or more people cite this clip or this moment from the show and find me or Shawn or both of us at the same time because you want to do this with me.
Not really. I don't want to
Okay.
ruin my shoe.
Well, I'll do it.
You're gonna.
I'll do a shoey and I'll do one with you guys.
Maybe I'll bring an extra shoe.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it because
Okay.
then
So,
we still got to go to the
4
game.
Peaks, come out. We're gonna get
Nasty
rowdy.
Beer soaked shoe.
So disgusting.
Oh
If you
yeah, I have
don't know,
to shoot the game too.
if you don't know what a
Fine
shoey
with
is, it means he's
Pouring
gonna.
a beer in a shoe and drinking it out of the
drink.
shoe.
So
Come on now.
my last day at ASU, I did a shoey outside of Cronkite, and then I had to walk like 5 blocks home with a beer soaked shoe.
What are we doing here? It's
I thought you were about to do. Espo walked up with a beer
About
in a
to
shoe,
do it
and I
right
thought he was
now.
about to do a shoey live on
good.
air.
I can't do it on the carpet or the
yeah. That's.
I will
fair.
tell you what. I'm not wearing my New Balances.
Please wear your New
Yeah, I
Balance.
wore my Air Forces, my old Air Forces.
I'll bring an extra shoe.
Yeah, I
Okay.
might do that.
Well, at the very least, come for the fun of being an ASU fan and talking about ASU football, getting ready for that game against Utah.
There will be games.
There will be games.
There will be games.
There
There will be cornhole, Jenga, Connect 4.
Listen, cornhole up in Northeast is a thing.
Do you call it cornhole or bags?
It's cornhole.
It's
in the Midwest, they call it bags.
Yeah.
Where the first thing
I lived in the Midwest
for like a day.
The first thing
for 2 years.
The first thing I knew it as was bag a hole.
Bag a hole?
Brother, what the hell?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That is not real.
But cornhole is obviously.
Bag a hole.
You know a big cornhole guy? You know who a big cornhole guy is? Deion Dawkins.
Really?
Yeah, huge cornhole guy, like professionally.
Not
Like,
a bag of hole guy?
I don't know.
Bag of hole is probably
But
the worst thing I've ever heard.
I'm ready to put work in.
Okay. Check the link in our show notes to sign up. You do got to be 21 or older and enjoy responsibly. Let's talk about the Pac-12 for a second. We're not going to talk about our Pac-12 power rankings, but you can find our Pac-12 power rankings on YouTube, on our YouTube channel in just a couple of hours. We'll have those uploaded for you guys. Some interesting shakeup. I know we've kind of switched things around because it was a crazy week in the Pac-12.
Yes, it was.
Aside from ASU losing to Eastern Michigan and Herm being gone.
Yeah, it was a crazy week, but no one lost, right? Other than ASU? Did anyone in the Pac-12 lose last week?
Yes, Cal and Colorado.
Yes. Yeah, okay, so Colorado. But Cal's loss is
Colorado
the most,
still part of the Pac-12?
No.
Okay.
They are officially joining the AIA, the Arizona Interscholastic Association.
They moved to Arizona.
Yes.
They're
playing high school football in the state of Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of crazy. But let's talk about the Pac-12 imposter because I feel like there are a couple options. I'm going to take your pick from the last couple of weeks.
Oh, my God.
UCLA is 100% the Pac-12 imposter.
Throw up that graphic, David.
I honestly thought that they just had a little bit more in them. My God, they looked horrible against South Alabama.
Can we just,
You were right.
Thank you.
You were right.
All I needed to hear.
You're welcome.
Because you guys were gaslighting me.
Let us know in the chat who you guys think is the biggest phony or just imposter in the Pac-12 after week 3. What about you, Shaun?
What am I? Hold on. Gaslighting? Like, when was I gaslighting?
Well, you weren't gaslighting. You guys were claiming that UCLA is definitely not the imposter. It's X team, it's Y team, it's Oregon who just beat BYU, and my Oregon team.
I didn't say Oregon. I never said Oregon, did I?
Well, you guys were shitting on Oregon.
We were shitting on Oregon.
My imposter's fucking Oregon.
That's
Still?
Bo Nix is listen. People are Bo Nix is capable of being a very good quarterback. He's also capable of being a very bad quarterback. He's statistically the most inconsistent quarterback in like Power 5 football. I remember seeing these stats last year, but the variation between his performance game from game at Auburn was absurd, which means that next week Oregon's probably going to lose. Big game against Washington State, actually. I'm pretty sure. So that's a massive game for the conference.
Washington State's undefeated too, right?
Yeah, if they beat Washington State, then I'll eat my words. You can clip this if you want.
Cool.
Like, I'm ready for it.
Will you go skydiving then?
No. But listen, I don't believe in Bo Nix, and they beat BYU. It was a good win, but they were favorites at home. Like, it was. I just am not ready to fully buy back into Oregon just because they had a good game.
I never bought out. It's Georgia. Georgia will make so many teams look foolish.
So who's your imposter?
Not that.
Still UCLA.
Still UCLA.
People think UCLA is still a top 5 team in the conference. They're not. South Alabama is wagon, but
yeah, I mean UCLA is not at this point, but I still don't. My opinion on UCLA has not really changed. It's more that opinions on other teams in the conference have improved to the point where it's kind of pushed UCLA down and where I view them in the conference. But yeah,
Black Star in the chat saying UCLA and Arizona State. If UCLA were the number 1 imposter, is Arizona State like the accomplice?
we can both be imposters.
I mean. Arizona State might be the number 1 imposter. It's just tough because it's kind of like when
they just love cosplaying as a different team each week. It's their favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So who do they cosplay as this week?
World beaters.
Florida.
World beaters. Florida week 1 Florida or like week 2, week 3 Florida?
I mean, even if just Florida.
Okay.
Florida against Utah.
Okay. That's fair.
The thing with me and Oregon, sorry, I keep getting back on this, is they have done nothing wrong when loss-wise. They've beat the teams that they should have beaten, and they lost to a team that they shouldn't have beaten.
The way they lost to Georgia is concerning.
It's fucking Georgia. They're not just another college football
it's
team.
not just that. It's what I have seen from Bo Nix throughout his career,
really
and I put a lot of value on quarterback play.
It's fair.
And I've never liked Bo Nix.
Yeah.
for good reason. I feel like he's a wildly inconsistent quarterback.
He might just be an imposter
by himself.
If he's an imposter, then you're stupid because you should know what he is.
Yeah, true.
Like we've seen him,
but he I mean, he does like role playing as a really good quarterback, like he did this week.
That's true. Yeah, like
because he looked damn good against BYU.
There's imposters in like a good way too, right? Like I feel like fucking Washington is just like
I think Washington
way better than people realize. Oregon State. Cal also could be an imposter because I don't think they're nearly as good as a team that almost beat Notre Dame. Like I know Notre Dame is struggling, but they're still Notre Dame. Like so yeah. This whole conference is imposters.
You know who's not an imposter? Anyone want to take a guess?
Burrito Express,
Colorado.
Yeah, close.
Because we know that they're bad.
Game Time.
No, very close as well. Daniel Ngata. Daniel Ngata is a homie. He's a G. He is gonna go off this week.
How is Game Time close?
I don't know.
Okay,
because you can buy tickets to watch Daniel Ngata.
That's true. Oh, damn. Look at you. Just
Washington State's not an imposter. Cam Ward is him.
Well, they definitely could.
Daniel Ngata is not an imposter, and you can find him pretty much all the time at Burrito Express. See, you see where I was going? There you go. Check out their new custom Burrito Express theme first responder shirt with all proceeds going to the Tunnels to Towers organization. They're only $25, and they're going to hook you up with a free burrito. Get them while they're hot. They're now available at all Burrito Express locations. Again, guys, come on. $25 shirt, free burrito. It makes the most sense out of anything in the world. Out of anything in the world, okay?
I would agree.
Water keeps you hydrated. We know this, right?
Burritos keep you fed.
Shoes belong on your feet.
Or with beer in them.
Or with beer in them.
Or over like a wire.
Or with
shoes or beer.
Well, they don't belong there because...
Huh. You ever see like Mike? Sometimes they're supposed to be there.
Yeah, well, but sometimes they're definitely not supposed to be there because it means something else. Beer also could be in your shoe while you're wearing it.
What?
Been there.
have as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you do a shoey, you still got to walk home and put the shoe back on your feet. I'm not walking barefoot through the city of Phoenix.
I feel like you're drinking beer out of a shoe. That's like the end of the shoe.
Also, Daniel Ngata, check out the shirt, the PHNX locker.
Yes.
Go buy it. It's fire.
Well.
I can't wait for mine to come in. Should be soon here.
Go check out Burrito Express. Black Star in the chat saying, what do you guys think of the attendance problem UCLA has?
Oh, you know what's going to fix that? Playing teams on the other side of the country.
Yeah, my God.
Fucking UCLA. Jesus.
It's insane.
They're tragic.
Well,
who cares about it?
It's this new era of college football where if you're not an established traditional program, like it just it's hard to draw attendance.
And it's also you're in LA playing college football when USC is down the street.
Yeah,
like,
USC is down the street. I mean, their attendance is pretty good, but
still not good.
It's still not good. UCLA is a basketball school, and they will always be a basketball school, but also it's just not, they just don't have a great fan base for anything.
Yeah.
Poor David. I just want to say, David, your Diamondbacks bet lost. The Dodgers came back to win 6-5.
Jeez.
You gotta be kidding.
That's brutal.
6-5, scored a bunch of runs.
I didn't
5-1 in the bottom of the 7th.
I wanted to round back to the whole Pac-12 conversation.
Yes.
Looking at like efficiency ratings.
Yeah.
Do you know where UCLA ranks?
Out of the 12?
Out of the 12.
Dead last.
10.
They are 9th, dead in between Arizona at 8 and ASU at 10th.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm guessing Colorado's last.
Colorado's last.
Colorado's going to be last at everything.
11th is Stanford.
Yeah, I feel like we don't talk enough about how bad Stanford is.
Yeah.
Stanford is not great.
No, they're not. I mean, they didn't play in week 3, which I hate. I know Shane and I were talking about this earlier, but I hate. Fun fact, Washington is 2nd. Oregon State is 3rd. Utah is 4th.
USC 1.
USC 1, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, we talked a little bit about Nebraska and how that's a tragic poverty program. I want to show you guys something else that's pretty tragic. A photo that we saw on Twitter on Monday, which obviously Shaun Aguano was being introduced as the head football coach or the interim coach at ASU. David's looking for it right now. It's in Notion, David. While he pulls that up, just a little bit to preface it. So somebody was at the airport on Monday, which, a lot of people are at the airport on Monday. But there was a photo of Herman, no middle name.
I'm going to double check to confirm.
We've checked 4 times on this program.
His middle name?
Yeah.
David, click on the photo.
But it's just a sad look. And I know Donnie said today that Herm is in good spirits.
David, top right.
David is really struggling to just download a photo right now. But yeah, Donnie said that Herm is in good spirits.
David, if you put this up, it's not going to look very good.
I don't necessarily think this photo like makes me think otherwise, that like he's not. But this does feel like just kind of rough, right?
We don't need the photo, David. It's okay.
David's struggling. We need the photo, David. Is David really struggling really hard?
Just don't worry about it.
Unlucky.
It's a photo of Herm with his bags packed, walking
at the airport,
ticket in
mask on,
headed to San Jose. Apparently,
yeah. Apparently, so the tweet from Tom Gillis says, and here he is Monday morning, headed to San Jose. Herm with just a giant bag over his shoulder.
Yeah, it looks cartoonish.
Yeah,
it looks almost like they tried to make him look like he's homeless. Like, I don't even know. It's like a
who made
sack.
You try him?
I guess himself, but it's literally a
that's
sack.
his bag.
Yeah, I don't know what Herm's up to.
Yeah,
I don't want to know why he's going to San Jose.
I'm curious for those in the chat. If you saw Herm Edwards at an airport on Monday, what are you saying to him?
Thank you.
Would you?
Yeah. Again, he's a great dude. And
not saying thank you. I don't think there's anything to thank him for. I'm saying good luck.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to thank him for. He did nothing but.
Thanks for trying.
Did he? I don't think there's anything to say thank you for. There is definitely a good luck. Like, I wish you the best, but I am not thanking the man for anything. Other than some good quotes, I suppose.
Yeah, the recess quote was probably my favorite. Do we have it ready to go now? Here we go. Here's the photo of Herm Edwards at the airport Monday morning. This is just, it's a sad look.
Yeah, that sack is wild.
Pause.
Yo.
I mean,
what's in the sack?
Tough for the audio listeners.
What's in the sack? You had to guess. Give me 3 things that Herm's taking with him to San Jose.
A helmet. He just stole one.
That sack is full of Burrito Express burritos.
Yeah.
He just robbed Daniel and got
and the first responders t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything that's
a lock of Emory Jones's hair, so we can try to clone him and
put him at quarterback for the high school he's teaching?
Oh, he's starting a new school?
Yeah. No, he's starting a collegiate program.
Is he taking over for Dion at Jackson State?
No, he's starting a completely new program.
Oh, okay. Who's funding this?
He is.
Really?
With
all the money that Ray gave him on the
Herman State.
He's reselling
Herman State
has huge Division II football energy.
Yeah.
I would low-key attend Herman State.
It's got to be a Herman University.
Yeah.
Herman U?
Herman
U? Wait. That's
what?
Herman U?
Jesus Christ. Why'd you repeat
there
it?
Is a
so
bishop,
bad.
There is a Bishop Herman College.
I'll tell you off air. That was terrible.
You asked.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Bishop Herman College, but it's in Ghana. Don't think he would be flying to San Jose to head to Ghana.
Hey, you never know. I don't.
I heard they're joining the Big 12 next year.
Ghana?
Yeah, Bishop Herman school from Ghana. Because it makes just as much sense logistically as it does on the football field. I love rearrangement of college football. Let's all play in Timbuktu.
Okay. Well, Arizona State is not playing in Timbuktu this weekend. They're playing Utah at home, and if you don't have your tickets, I don't know what you're doing. But if you still want to get them, Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Save up to 60% on tickets when you buy tickets last minute. It's great for you procrastinators out there. If you love PHNX, then you'll love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Gentlemen, any final thoughts before we get out of here and go do our Pac-12 Power Rankings?
I felt like I had something to talk about. Oh, wait, we haven't talked about the video yet. The video that everyone's saying Herm got fired on the field.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Say something.
Why do people assume things that are major media outlets and betting apps and stuff? It's so matter of fact.
The betting apps or whatever, because they're not supposed to. But when like Nesson, who is like the sports media outlet in New England, like what you're just straight up speculating and lying. Like it's just not even remotely close to the there's literally nothing to suggest that that's what happened.
No, it takes literally 2 seconds of research to see that this is something that Herm, Ray,
or 2 seconds of using your fucking brain.
Yeah,
why the fuck would they do that to somebody?
Well,
especially a friend.
Yeah, and those type, and then companies like us, digital media companies, Barstool Sports, I'm looking at you. They don't do fact checking anyway, so who really cares about them?
Yeah, exactly.
They're just digging themselves in a hole. It makes no sense. It's disrespectful as hell, and it takes maybe like 2 minutes of research.
Yeah, Herm did not get fired on the field. This is something that Ray and Michael Crow, they'd meet with Herm, and they have for pretty much his entire tenure on the field post-game. Whether Crow was there or not, I know Herm and Ray always met because they've been friends. They've been colleagues for such a long time. So any outlet that is trying to push the narrative that Ray fired Herm on the field is just
what's even crazier? In the Barstool article, quote unquote, they throw in, they literally put words in his mouth. They literally put words in Michael Crow and Ray Anderson's mouth by saying, at the very least, the conversation was probably something like, quote, let's talk when you come in tomorrow morning. What?
I mean,
what?
Hold on. Like, yeah, it's stupid, but also if you're believing anything that Barstool says, then you're a dumb person anyways.
I'm doing the people a favor and saying, if you had any suspicion, do you ever believe anything that they post, don't do it.
Yeah, I know Chris Cartman is Sun Devil source. He was the one that tweeted that original video. And I know this had blown up a little bit more recently within like the last 24 hours. I want to pull it up for a second because there was, I don't want to say a media outlet because I don't think that's what it was. But let me see while we pull up this tweet. So Chris Cartman, Sun Devil source, had tweeted the video as it had happened.
It just says Herm Edwards, Ray Anderson's Michael Crow.
Well, yeah, the original video, right? But there was, let's see.
It's got 3.3 million views.
Yeah, because everybody is just using that video. So here we go. HBCU Premier Sports, which for everyone's reference has 24.1 thousand followers. Their bio says, your number one source of daily posts from all HBCU conferences, men's and women's sports, retweeted by former U.S. president. Okay, great. So it's the video from Cartman. And it says Power 5 African-American head coach coaching news. Arizona State University head coach Herm Edwards fired on the field at the end of the game following loss by school's president and athletic director. Show some class, Arizona State. And the comments go on to just be like, how could you do this? Like, it's totally disrespectful. Like, it's because he's black. Like, all sorts of just outlandish stuff. And Cartman quote retweeted it within the last hour, saying, I took this video and broke the news of his departure a day later. Edwards was not fired on the field. He wasn't even fired at all, according to Ray Anderson. His boss and good friend, who is also black, relinquished his role. Get the facts straight before tweeting speculatively. And then HBCU Premier Sports blocked Cartman. And Cartman responded with, can't handle the truth. Like, it's a mic drop.
Good on Chris Cartman. Yeah. He does some really good work. I do want to say one good quote tweet that came from this. At Ghost Tofa on Twitter, quote tweeted and goes, record scratch. I bet you're wondering how we got here. And it's a screenshot of it. Espo's been sitting behind the mic for a while. I think he wants to say something. Espo, what's going on?
Can you guys hand in your playbooks? No, I don't.
Oh, damn.
Not doing that
just
live.
Got fired up.
No, it's not happening. I have some exciting breaking news for you. You want to hear it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this Saturday, if you buy tickets to come out to Four Peaks for your tailgate, you're now, for the first 15 people, are going to get a ticket to the game.
Oh, wow.
The first 30 people are also going to get a year subscription to PHNX.
Damn. So, wow.
Breaking news.
Love it.
If
$50.
For first 15 people, sign up right now. The link is in the show notes. We'll also put it in the chat right now. Sign up. First 15 people not only get a PHNX annual membership, but you also get a ticket to the game. It's like
along with everything else that you get.
$150 value just for
along with
$50.
Everything else you get, a ride to the game, the all-you-can-eat buffet, all the games that they got
I think I'd pay $150 for 2 free 4-piece beers.
Yeah, genuinely. But if you're not within the first 15 people,
bro, that's
the next 15 people also just get that free PHNX annual membership. So please go do that. We're gonna have a blast. I'm gonna have some. I mean, it's gonna be great.
Link is gonna be in the show notes.
We're obviously going to the game, so let's have some fun.
Let's do it, guys. If you
Shock
enjoyed
the world, hashtag why not us.
If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Shane at Shane Deef, and you can follow Shaun DePause at Shaun_DePause.
May have used this one before, but doubting Bo Nix as always.
I think you have.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
like a weekly thing. Yeah. We'll be back Wednesday live at 3 p.m. to continue talking ASU football. Tomorrow we really dive into ASU in Utah.
I have a question for you guys real quick.
Yeah.
Could I rock a pearl necklace?
Yes, 100%, Shaun. A pearl necklace needs confidence. You it, buddy.
I'm gonna have to see it.
Okay, fair enough.
First.
That's fair. I
just can't like dub
I respect
instant
that.
pearl necklace guy. It is what it is. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. For now,
possible.
Peace. Bye.